Well, good morning. How are you all today? Welcome to Integrative Preparedness. I want to talk about something today that concerns a lot of people and about which many people are misled. And that is, are we living in the end times? Scary thought, right? Scary proposition. But I'm going to talk about it so that people have a little bit better understanding of it, and so that you can follow or adjust your plans however you may want to. Now, in the background, you know how Paul Harrell used to always say, "We're out at the range, so excuse the gunfire in the back." Well, I don't have anything that exciting, but excuse the kitchen sounds in the background if you hear it, because Kelly's in there washing dishes. We're getting ready to run down to Silver Dollar City for the day, and she likes a clean kitchen. So she's in there. She's looking at me right now. What are you saying about me? So if you hear a bunch of clanking and stuff, do you know what that's called? That's called life. We live in the real world. Okay, so the end times. A lot of people talk about the end times. A lot of Christian, particularly denominations. Now there are some Islamic groups that are looking and promoting the end time, but there are a lot of Christian denominations that focus a lot on the end times, and we are living in the end times now. Many others, most don't, to be honest, and I think this will surprise a lot of people. Most Christian, traditional Christian denominations don't focus on the end times, nor do they focus on the rapture, which many people don't realize is kind of a modern thought process, and it's not a part of main Christian thought. It came about back in the 1800s. So it's a lot of people have been kind of wooed into to believing in that. It's not something that is, shall I say, a main part of Christian eschatology, which eschatology is essentially just a fancy word for the study of the end times. Okay, so if you study the end times, you're an eschatologist. So congratulations for your new eschatology degree. The problem is that a lot of people think about it, a lot of people talk about it, a lot of people listen about it, a lot of people find it kind of titillating, but not a lot of people know about it. So let's talk about it just a little bit, right? I also meant to say there are quite a few YouTube channels that concentrate on the end times. Now, what are the end times, and are we living in them? Maybe I should turn that around and answer the second part first. Yes, we are living in the end times. Why? Because of the answer to the first. The end times in Christian thought began after Jesus' resurrection, his crucifixion and resurrection. So the end times, yes, we are living in the end times. The question is, how long are those end times? Okay, and that's something that too many people think, well, it's coming, it's right now. If you read, and I hear this so often for people who haven't really put the time into the studying of it. If you wars and rumors of wars, and if you read the Bible, if you read Revelation, if you just see all the evil in the world and all the bad things and the earthquakes and the storms and the wars and all this, it's obvious that we are quickly approaching the end. Well, let me encourage you to back away from the edge for a minute, Hoss. Those who believe that there is more evil in the world today than ever before have not studied their history. Okay. Now, there might be more evil because there's more people. Okay. And you might think that there's more evil because of our media and you hear about it more. But you see, Satan, and if you want to stay on the biblical route here, Satan, who is prince of this world, did not become more evil over the last 2,000 years. He has always been, he is a liar and the father of lies. He is the prince of the world. He is evil incarnate, okay? He is the source of evil. He has always been evil. He's not more evil today than he's ever been before. But we hear about it more, and we have more people thumping about it. And you might be well, let me insert this too. Are you familiar with Nero's torches? I write about this in one of my books. Nero, the emperor, the Roman emperor, used to light his garden parties by mounting Christians on poles, dipping them or slathering them in pitch and lighting them on fire. Evil? Yeah. There has always been evil. There has always been sex trafficking. There has always been child trafficking. There has always been prostitution and murder and all sorts of evil. We hear about it more now. And I'm not saying don't pay attention to it. It is something with which we fight every day. But don't be misled to think that the world is more evil now than it has ever been. Are you familiar with Sodom and Gomorrah? Okay, all right. The end time cult, which is really kind of a death cult, is promoted by many Christian denominations and YouTube creators and followers and things like this. The problem is, what it does is it makes people want or look forward or just be sure that the end times, that Jesus is coming back soon. Okay, now Jesus is coming back. Soon is relative. We don't know what soon is. I've known people that were expecting him by the end of the week. And here's something to realize. Did you realize that the disciples, the apostles, actually, because Jesus had many disciples, people don't. Again, it comes from reading a little bit of the Bible or not, or going somewhere or following a leader who has only given you a little bit of the Bible, as opposed to studying the Bible yourself or having someone who passes on the complete message of the Bible. And here again, let me get back to if you have been misled by someone who only concentrates on Revelation, well, you're going to be scared to death. Okay, but anyway, getting back to what I was talking about, Jesus had many disciples. There are the 12 that we refer to as the apostles. The apostles and all of the other disciples fully expected, as a result of what Jesus told them, fully expected him to return in their lifetimes. Every generation since then has expected, let me put it this way. There have been people in every generation since, in certain religious sects or cults, who have fully expected Jesus' return within their lifetime. So we have had hundreds of generations fully expecting, and people telling their followers, the end is nigh. Jesus himself said, we won't know the day or the hour, right? Okay. He says, not even the Son knows, only the Father knows. And then when I say that, people will say, well, yeah, but we know the seasons, or we know the signs. Well, the signs are all those things that have been happening for 2,000 years. See, that's why everybody has expected it. Did you also know, and most people don't know this, but biblical scholars, and I don't mean people who go to church every Sunday and listen to some preacher tell them the end of the world is coming. Biblical scholars who have devoted their lives, and I don't put myself in their class. I have not devoted my entire life to the study of the Bible and eschatology. But those who have very differing views on the end times. Very differing views. And some of them are convinced, as a result, not of opinion, but of study, and they can make a very good case, that everything that was contained in the book of Revelation, which is the proper name of it, not Revelations, but Revelation, was accomplished by the time of the fall of the temple in 70 AD. Did you know that? That's important to know. Now, my main thing here is that too many people are misled by this essentially death cult almost hoping for or preaching the end times. Now, what does that do? First off, it gives you a feeling of negativity, right? I talked about negativity bias the other day. It makes you think, well, why should I prepare? It makes a lot of people think. And I see it in the comments here. I don't need to prepare. Jesus is coming. Okay. Well, yes, he is coming. And, we all look forward to that day, right? But it just like most generations, all generations before us, who knows if it's going to come in our lifetime? He could come before I finish this video. He could not come for another 1,000 years because God's time is not our time. Soon means something probably very different to God than it means to us. Okay, so the problem is when people are kind of misled into this idea of the end times. We are in the end times. It changes the way they live their lives. A lot of them don't prepare for the future. Okay, but also there's something else that's more important, and it is the direct contradiction to what Jesus told us to do and how to live our lives. We are to be salt and light. Are you familiar with that part of his teaching? Okay. What does that mean? We are not to go hide from the rest of society, like many sects and monasteries and even some preparedness groups do. We are not to hide from society. We are not to separate ourselves from the greater society. We are to participate in the greater society so that we can have a positive effect on it. As Christians, it is are you familiar with the Great Commission? Okay, the Great Commission. Go out and preach the good news into all the nations. We are charged with going out there and doing what we can to spread the gospel, the good news of Jesus Christ. Not to hold up somewhere and just wait for it. Not just to hold up and kind of take care of our own little group. Now, we should take care of our families and our groups and all that, but we are supposed to. This is not a, hey, if you want to. This is Jesus telling you, go out there and do it. Be a part of the world. It'd be in the world, but not of the world. Participate in the world so that you can lead others to Christ and to help and to be his instrument. God works through people. If you're not out there, he can't work through you. People that do that, they kind of, just waiting. And it's not about obeying rules. Okay, not about obeying, excuse me, rules or laws or anything like that. I did one on the church channel. By the way, I did one on the church channel yesterday. Stonemont Church, for anybody who's interested. About you are never beyond God's grace. I think that's another thing that a lot of people tussle with, especially guys who are from the military or police. And that was, I won't get into that. But I did another one not too long ago about the fact that Christians are not under the law, and they're not. So many people have been misled to believe that as well. And so, if you've been led to believe that the end is nigh, the end is coming, it changes your life. It changes your behavior from what Jesus wants you to do to what he did not tell you to do, or actually told you not to do. Right? Salt and light. Who, when he lights a candle, hides it under a bushel? No. He puts it on a lampstand so that it gives light to all and direction to all. That means you're out there. You're not waiting for the end. You're not hiding out somewhere and waiting for the end. If salt has lost its saltiness, what good is it? You're supposed to be salt. You're supposed to season the world around you, the society around you. So I got a little bit more into a sermon that I meant to, but my main point was here is don't be misled, and don't allow people who are always preaching doom and gloom to make you believe that the end is nigh because of all the evil in the world. The world has not changed. God has not changed. Man has not changed. Satan has not changed. We deal with the same things that we've dealt with since Christ was here. And he has made it very clear how he wants us to live our life. Okay? So stop believing that the end of the world is nigh. Yeah, are we in the end times? We are in the end times, but how long those end times are, we have no idea. Don't let somebody make you believe that it's coming soon, because it will wreck the way you're living your life. You know, when you go to these death cults like this, and what were those people that thought they all bought Nike shoes and thought that some mothership was coming, or Jim Jones, you know, and hey, the leaders tend to do pretty well. Or I'll even think about some churches that I have been. The pastors, they do real well. The people, not so much. They're full of negativity. They're full of fear. They're full of fear of the world and all sorts of things. That is no way to live, and that's not the way that Jesus wanted you to live. We are to live in joy, okay, every day. And we are to live every day the way we're supposed to. Not out of fear of the end, but out of hope, and out of joy, and out of our Christian responsibility. I know this became much more religious than I had intended, but apparently I was supposed to say it. I just go where I'm led. It is our Christian responsibility not to hide from the world, but to be in the world and to positively affect that world, and to allow God to be there, to be the instrument, to be the tool, so that we can be used by God however he wants to. Does that make sense? Okay. Stop being afraid of the end of the world. All right. Hey, you all have a great day. We're going to have a great day. And I hope that's helped some people out there. I really do. Anyway, as we always say, we prepare well today in order to live well tomorrow. You do it, I'll do it. Have a happy Sunday, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.